welcome to Forever Motorsports on Forever Sports. This is the Hungary Grand Prix review, and just to go straight into it, Max Verstappen has won a seventh race in a row. A brilliant performance for Max Verstappen in Hungary. And also a great race from Sergio Perez, starting in ninth and coming and finishing in third. Norris finishes in second, though. A great race for him as well. Piastri unfortunately finishes in fifth, and Lewis Hamilton, after starting in pole, only finishes in fourth. Reese, your thoughts on that race?
Yes, it was certainly a very exciting race, especially in the beginning, in the opening stages, where we had three cars fighting it out for first position. I mean, Hamilton unfortunately had a very bad start there, and just lost three places pretty much within two corners, going all the way down to fourth. He, of course, fell a little bit further back during the pit stop phases, and then made his way back to fourth near the end. I'm sure he'll be quite disappointed not to have had a podium finish here. He was catching Sergio Perez quite quickly near the end, but not able to get that podium position.
No, indeed. And unfortunately, a terrible start to the race for Alpine. And just to go straight to the beginning of the race there. So into turn one, we did say an incident would happen in turn one, and it resulted in two cars unfortunately retiring from the race. Not quite then, didn't cause any safety car, but didn't have a single safety car the entire race, and no even stress of having it. So quite interesting that in itself. But we did have both Alpines getting hit by, well, it was a whole little a bit of a bumper bashing. What happened? Zhou had a terrible start, stalled on the start, and once he got going, he went into the back of Ricciardo, who went into the back of Ocon, who went into the back of Gasly, and both Alpines picking up a lot more damage than the other two cars. So unfortunately, we saw both Alpines retire after the first couple of laps. So terrible start for them. Ricciardo managed to fight his way back, though, into a decent position. He managed to finish there in just 13th position after starting more or less there and also getting hit. So not a bad start for the race weekend for him. And Logan Sargent also could not finish after a spin right near the end of the race, picking up a bit of damage, and he had to finish the race there and there.
Retired on the final lap, which is not great. I mean, I think they're pretty much over him at this point. They just went, okay, let's just go home now, please. Come into the pits and get out the car.
And just to confirm for you, sorry, Reese, just want to confirm the fact that Russell did indeed finish in 6th position after starting all the way down in 18th. Leclerc had a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Very stupid mistake, which cost him his position. He was 6th. Russell, however, goes ahead of him into 6th now. Leclerc drops into 7th. So the Mercedes finish in 4th and 6th. Russell, as I say, starting in 18th. Great race for him. He was certainly my driver of the day. And I'm not sure who your driver of the day was, Reese, but he was certainly mine.
Well, I was quite impressed with Oscar Piastri having a great start to the race, being able to hold back his teammate, putting a bit of a gap over onto him as well, and then kind of got screwed a little bit by McLaren in the pit stop strategy where they brought in Lando Norris first, and he was just able to get a lot more pace and undercut him in the pits, of course, and then Piastri was kind of stuck a little bit behind him and got hung out to dry and got overtaken a bit and finished down in 5th, but still a good race from him nonetheless. He will be my driver of the day.
Okay, interesting. So Piastri couldn't get a podium this time around once again. The Orange Army's out in force as Max Verstappen once again won another Grand Prix. I mean, how easy was it for Max Verstappen with these new upgrades on Red Bull?
I mean, for all that he was complaining about balance issues in this newly upgraded Red Bull, he looked so comfortable out on track with getting the job done in the first corner, in the first lap, and then just having a clean race from then onwards. I mean, he's certainly getting quite good at doing that and managing a race quite confidently out there. He cannot seem to be doing any better at the moment. He's performing phenomenally.
Yeah, and so a person who didn't perform phenomenally at all, considering his performance yesterday, which is brilliant, was Guan Yu Zhou. He managed to qualify in 5th position and dropped all the way down into 16th over the course of the race. So terrible race for him. Probably a day he wants to forget.
Yes, I think it will certainly be one that he will push very far back in the memories, because you don't want to think of a day like this, having a stall at the start and then having a collision into turn one. It's going to be a long debrief for him this evening on the private jet back home, I'm sure. But I'm sure it will it won't affect him all that much
So
going into the
I
rest of
do
the race
enjoy the
this
little
season.
comment there, the private jet back home. Yeah, so just going through our final bottom 10. So Pierre Gasly and Ocon did not finish the race. They got retired their cars right at the beginning. That's 2 weekends in a row for Alpine that they've had to retire their cars. So really, really upsetting day for them. And I'm sure they're all crying in the pits and wondering, what on earth did we do wrong? Logan Sargent also did not finish the last lap. He had to come in 18th position, of course. And then, of all the drivers still out in the grid, Magnussen in 17th, Guan Yu Zhou in 16th, Sonoda in 15th, Hulkenberg 14th, Daniel Ricciardo, not a bad start, also outperforming his teammate in 13th position, his first Grand Prix back, Bottas in 12th, Alex Albon also managed to get up from 16th into 11th, so not a bad race day for him, and then Lance Stroll starts off our top 10. Read us the last top 10 from 10th position upwards.
Well, in 10th position, we had Lance Stroll. I think this is the correct. Yes, I think this is the correct result to have. Lance Stroll in 10th, Fernando Alonso in 9th position, Carlos Sainz in 8th, Charles Leclerc then in 7th place. George Russell having a good day out there after starting quite far down, was able to get up into 6th. I did think that he was going to be able to get around 5th or 6th in the race, and he certainly proved me correct there in that Mercedes. Oscar Piastri, unfortunate, only getting 5th here today, missing out on a podium for the second race weekend in a row. Lewis Hamilton finishing in 4th. Bit of a comeback from him after having a dismal start to the race, just missing out on a podium place. Sergio Perez finishing in 3rd on that last step of the podium. Lando Norris, another second place finish 2 weekends in a row. Very happy for him. Then Max Verstappen once again taking that first spot.
Indeed. And I mean, Max Verstappen, what a great race and very, very easy for him. He also finishes with the fastest lap time of the day at 122.2, which is quite a lot quicker than the rest of the laps. Nobody else managed to get into the 122s, so just shows how much quicker he is in that Red Bull car of his. Lando Norris, fantastic race, getting into 2nd position. Both McLarens had a great start. Oscar Piastri had a brilliant start, got ahead of his teammate Lando Norris and ahead of Hamilton, and almost got ahead of Verstappen as well, but was just unable to make that maneuver in the first lap, and hence Max Verstappen managed to get away from him. But as you say, I do feel Piastri's race was a little bit sabotaged by his own team when he came out of the pits. They pushed Norris ahead of him rather than Piastri, who was ahead of Norris at the time. I do think if Piastri came out ahead of Norris, we'd probably be looking at a double McLaren podium.
Yes, it's unfortunate, but I mean, I think they felt they had to put Lando a bit earlier to cover some of the other people who also decided to pit a bit earlier. And it just seemed to work out to be the better pit strategy, and they should have done it with Piastri instead. But there's always hindsight. Yeah, just disappointed that his race was a little bit compromised.
Yeah, indeed. And yeah, a terrible, terrible day out once again for Ferrari. What on earth happened there?
Ferrari, I think, once again, just getting the strategy wrong. Just seeing in the comment section, Jill Horsley watching from KZN. Thank you very much for watching. I'm also in KZN, so great to see you in the comment section. Yeah, I mean, Ferrari just getting the strategy wrong again. They could have had a good day out here. They had some good pace in the beginning sectors or good beginning section of the race, and then just losing a little bit of pace from then onwards. And I still think they should have released Carlos ahead of his teammates when he was on a set of softs and Leclerc was on a set of mediums. I think they should have allowed him to overtake and just try and defend and challenge with those drivers a little bit further up.
Yeah, and I mean, also Perez managed to get a little bit of confidence back, maybe starting all the way down in 9th. He shouldn't be starting so low, but managed to get onto the podium into 3rd place. So not a bad day out at all for Red Bull as a result of his 3rd place as well. As we expect Max Verstappen to get 1st place these days as well. So Perez, yeah, not a bad day.
Yes, not a bad day. Certainly going to be keeping the Red Bull higher ups happier that he's actually on the podium finally for the first time in a few races. Yeah, he'll be managing expectations at least for once.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very interesting Hungarian Grand Prix, and as he keeps saying to everybody, because everyone always says afterwards, what a boring Grand Prix, because all they focus on is the winner. But we don't notice the fact that we had Perez starting in 9th, finishing in 3rd. We had Russell starting in 18th, finishing in 6th. We had Piastri, who almost managed to get ahead of Verstappen in the opening part of the first lap. He finished in 5th. A great drive for the rookie driver still to finish so far up. Hamilton finished in 4th after starting on the podium, on the pole position rather. The two Ferraris dropped quite low. Alonso and Stroll finishing in 9th and 10th for them, and quite a lot of midfield battles as well. So quite a good Grand Prix I think we had in Hungary today.
Yes, I certainly enjoyed it. It was maybe not as exciting as Silverstone last time out, but still a great Grand Prix weekend. And was good to have so many of you watching alongside with us. Thank you very much for joining us, and do be sure to hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, indeed, as Reese says, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Join the family that is Forever Motorsports and Forever Sports. We do love to have chat, and we saw it in the stream today, how great the chat was and how we had so many people engaging with us. And it was great to engage with everyone else as well. So, for the future, as we go into more races, and of course, we've got a Grand Prix coming just this weekend, coming now. So, we've got a Grand Prix straight away. Be sure to join us for that as well. And we do have a Monday show. Our podcast is every Monday. So, tune in again tomorrow afternoon. Me and Reese will
And
go
our race
live.
preview, of course, on
Yes.
Thursday as well.
Yeah, so tune in tomorrow as we're going to go over the race weekend that we've just had, as well as the last week of Formula One. We do a podcast every Monday. Be sure to come and join us for that. We'll read some of the chat, and we'd love to have some of you in that stream as well. Otherwise, from me, Mark, and from Reese as well, of course, you've been watching Forever Motorsports. Just to go over the final points right at the top there. Max Verstappen wins for Red Bull, Norris in second, Perez in third, Hamilton 4th, Piastri 5th, Russell 6th, Leclerc and Sainz 7 and 8, Alonso 9, Stroll 10, Albon in 11th, Bottas in 12th, Ricciardo 13, Hulkenberg 14, Tsunoda 15, Zhou 17, and Magnussen the last car running in 17th. The three cars out, Sargent 18, Ocon and Gasly 19 and 20 for Alpine. Guys, thank you so much for watching Forever Motorsports.